What up, my dudes? We got us a little bit of Ktm drama, boys. This video is all about the Chase Sexton interview that was apparently took down or asked to be took down by KTM. I don't know exactly the specifics on it, but apparently some of the things that Sexton was saying about the bike in that interview, it was like a Vital interview or some shit, right? Apparently some of the stuff he was saying in that interview was like really making the bike look bad, to the point where like KTM's like, okay, we can't have all that, you know what I mean? So this kind of sparked up a crazy thing online about, you know, has Sexton ever been comfortable on a bike? Is it just the KTM? You know, does everybody feel that way on a KTM? Can he even be honest about it? He's badass for being honest about it. You know, a little bit of everything going out there. So let me just give my opinion on it. All right. So first of all, Spency boy T Sipper just going to hit you with that work right away, okay? Anytime I see somebody go from any other kind of bike to a KTM, it basically instantly, pronto ASAP Rocky, makes them look like they're riding with a stick up their ass. And I don't know any other way to explain it to you better than that, but anytime I've ever seen somebody, don't matter if you're talking about Sexton, Dungey, you know, it just doesn't matter. Cooper Webb, there is just a weird, rigid sort of look. Kind of looks like a random vet rider going out there and riding for the first time in like 4 or 5 years. Plessinger, you know, they all do kind of have that weird, different look when they're riding a KTM than they ever had on any bike that they were riding previously, okay? Now, it's not to say you can't win on it, obviously. Cooper Webb, Dungey, you know, list goes on and on. I'm not saying anything about it like that, you know, I'm just saying the way it visually looks compared to the way their body looked on whatever previous bike they were on, they just don't look as comfortable. They don't look as free flowing, you know, kind of that, I don't know, that smoothness to it. You know what I mean? They kind of have all I know how to explain, a rigidness to their riding, you know? And I feel that exact way about Chase Sexton compared to when he was on the Honda. Okay, so let me just basically talk about what he said in the interview that this whole video is about right here, just to make it add up a little bit. So basically, in a nutshell, he was like, you know, it feels like it's impossible to win on this bike. Him talking about Supercross specifically, not outdoors, okay? Because obviously he went out there and won the outdoor championship, even though Tomac and, you know, Jet Lawrence was not there towards the end, so it's kind of like, how can you really judge that? I don't know. But anyways, he was talking more specifically about when he gets more to the Supercrossy kind of obstacles like whoops and jumps and set up for that specifically. That's where he was saying in the interview that's where he just feels like they're nowhere even close. He claims that it's like some major issue with the bike, and every time he shows up to the race every weekend, he's expected to win, and he just knows that he can't win on that bike. That's pretty much what he was talking about, right? So, yeah, this goes into like a whole nother ass argument of, I don't know, man. I mean, you did choose to sign the papers when you signed with KTM. I know you ain't stupid. I know you know all that stuff that's different about a KTM, being whether it's the different kind of frame or this or that, whatever, than like a Honda, Kawasaki, Yamaha, you know, it's just different. And you knew that before signing them papers. So it's just kind of a, you know, let me give you an example here. I feel like had Ryan Dungey like either stayed on Suzuki or signed with one of the other teams instead of KTM, he probably would have been a little bit more competitive with Ryan Villopoto right out the gate. I don't know if any of you guys remember that back in the day, but like when Dungey was battling Villopoto while Dungey was still on a Suzuki, he just had that aggressiveness. He had that like I'm saying, that looseness on the bike. And then as soon as he went to KTM, I swear he never found that again. And he didn't start really winning till after Villopoto left. So, you know, but you can get in some occasions, like Cooper Webb, for instance, he can find a way to turn that bike on a dime and go out there and win Supercross championships on it. So, you know, it's not to say you can't win in Supercross on it. I just think it kind of maybe fits certain riders better. I don't really know how to even explain it, but there definitely is a more rigid, you know, kind of a tighter look on the bike when they're riding it versus like on a Honda. You know, I felt like Sexton, he almost had every single fast qualifying lap when he was on the last year he was on the Honda in Supercross, and then I don't know if he even got one fast qualifying lap when he was on the KTM. He might have got like one or two or whatever, but he just did not have the same speed in Supercross on that KTM. Of course, it was the first year, but you know, definitely let me know down in the comments what you guys think about it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like they should be able to be open about it, you know? I mean, because Sexton's out there trying to be like, listen, bro, I mean, this is why I'm not up there with Jet and Tomac. You know, literally can't get the bike to work like I want it to, but everybody's dealing with that. And you also chose to sign them papers. And you also spoke about some of those same kind of issues. You could never quite get fully comfortable on the Honda either. But I think this is a lot worse, specifically for Supercross. You know, so, but, I mean, I really do think it's dumb. One of the dumbest things that can ever happen is when they start trying to be like, bro, we're sponsoring you. You can't say anything even remotely that could possibly be remotely perceived in a negative way about the bike. You got to basically, like, you know, politically correct yourself so that you don't badmouth the bike at all. But that, to me, just starts getting really disingenuous. It starts getting really fake to the fans. And on top of all that, it's like, their factory bikes are completely different than the kind of bikes you're going to go up to the showroom and buy and the kind of riding you're going to be doing. So it ain't really like, I mean, I know a lot of the fans kind of get tricked up in that whatever bike's winning in real life, you know, pro racing is the kind of bike they need to go buy. But like, honestly, that's kind of hog shit. That's kind of bullshit. I mean, and the real moto dudes kind of know that, you know what I mean? But it's like the amount of stuff you're going to do to that bike, and, you know, I mean, good luck being on Sexton's level. Whoever thinks they're going to now not go buy a KTM because of bro, it's like you're not even close to Chase Sexton's level in the first place, so it really ain't going to matter the same kind of way, you know. But yeah, I guess the manufacturers just look at it like it's kind of a bad look when the rider is speaking that negatively about it. And I mean, I can understand that, but like, you know, and yeah, there's also the potential that Sexton's just kind of excuse making a little bit. You know what I mean? I mean, but he did just go out there and win the outdoor championship. But he does seem to be speaking about it Supercross specifically with the SuperMotocross championship, okay? But, yeah, I mean, but he did get a good start and went out there and won that second moto, the last SuperMotocross round. So it's like, I mean, it's still capable. It's just, yeah, I mean, when you get a 5th place start and you got Tomac and, you know, Jet out front, it is going to be pretty hard to catch them and pass them and win at that point, regardless. Like, you know, but it's basically Sexton acting like, we just can't figure the bike out. We're going into every weekend, and I know the bike can't win. You know, it's kind of like he's talking about it like that, almost just like in a sense of like he's doing everything he can, which I'm sure he is, but they all are. You know, who the hell makes it to this kind of level and they're putting in fucking 69% effort? Nobody. Y'all are all putting in everything you can. Y'all are all putting all the effort in the world and got all the skill on the bike in the world. But I mean, that's part of it. Like, the team I thought it was dumb as hell for Sexton to be on the level that he was on that Honda and then think, you know what? I'm going to go sign to KTM, bro. I thought that was one of the dumbest decisions. I mean, and I think I remember saying that back in the day. Just because Sexton's like a very loose kind of rider. You know, he finally found that speed on that Honda. I know he started losing his front end, and that's a whole nother ass story, you know what I'm saying, T-sippers. But, you know what I mean, though? It's like, you go out there and do that, like, right after you were already doing plenty good on the Honda. It's different when, like, Cooper Webb, you know, he just couldn't figure it out on that original 450 Yamaha team. So then, like, him going to KTM was sort of basically like, I'll try anything. I'll go anywhere. And it just so happened to work out for him. But he ain't been able to do shit in outdoors on a KTM, really. So, you know what I mean? But, I don't know. I just don't know how much the KTM fits Sexton's style on Supercross to begin with. And I don't know what the hell they can even do with the bike to ever make it that way either. But yeah, Sexton in that interview just basically had this mindset of like, fuck, I can't even win on the bike, and we ain't changing nowhere near enough to fix this thing. You know, it ain't just small problems, it's like major issues holding us back, and the team just can't figure it out. That was pretty much the moral of the story from that interview.